हेलो नमस्कार सिक्किम क्रोनिकलमा यहाँहरू सबैजनालाई स्वागत छ र बुक गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरीज अथर्ड बाई डाक्टर सत्यदीप छेत्री हैज कम्प्लिटेड 1 year अफ पब्लिकेसन र आज हाम्रो स्टुडियोमा स्वयं डाक्टर सत्यदीप छेत्री हुनुहुन्छ। हामी धेरै कुराकानी गर्नेछौँ गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरीजलाई लिएर अनि उहाँको करियर इन राइटिङलाई लिएर अनि उहाँको जुन नयाँ बुक छ सिक्किम फ्रम अटोक्रेसी टु हाफ डेमोक्रेसी यसलाई लिएर पनि हामी धेरै चर्चा परिचर्चा गर्नेछौँ। फर्स्ट एन्ड फरमोस्ट तपाईँलाई धेरै धेरै स्वागत छ, धेरै धेरै कङ्ग्रेचुलेसन्स छ। यु अल्सो ब्याक अथर अफ द इयर अवार्ड 2022 अनि अहिले आएर अब 1 year कम्प्लिट भइसकेको छ। सो जस्ट गिभ अस अ स्निक पिक कि टोटल अहिले गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरिजको कति कपी चाहिँ सोल्ड आउट भइसक्यो?
So first of all, thank you very much for calling me in this, inviting me for this program. Ani arko चाहिँ God has been gracious and people have really been reading. We are touching almost 4,000 now. Shortly we'll be going in for third reprint and of course without the Kindle man pura jaँदैछ.
And this makes one of the highest sold copies in the entire Northeast.
Possibly yes, in a year. Not in a long run, but in a year, yeah, it is, I think.
Wow, this is a achievement है। अनि अलिकति म तपाईँलाई सोध्न चाहन्छु है, अब यो जुन गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरिजको अब 1 वर्षको जर्नीलाई तपाईँ हेर्नुहुन्छ नि है, अनि दे हेभ बिन सो मच अफ लाइक आई मिन पिपल हु सपोर्ट्स योर पोइन्ट अफ भ्यू एन्ड दे हेभ बिन पिपल हु डिडन्ट सपोर्ट योर पोइन्ट अफ भ्यू है। कस्तो लाग्छ मतलब फर्केर हेर्दाखेरि 1 वर्षको यो जुन अब अवधिमा चाहिँ गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरिजले चाहिँ कतिको चाहिँ आई मिन लाइक इन्ट्रिग गर्यो होला लाइक
एउटा इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कुरा भनिहाल्छु तपाईँलाई। सो जब यो बुक रिलिज भयो उसमा के अरे कलकत्ता बुक फेयरमा 45th कलकत्ता बुक फेयरमा मलाई बोलाएको थियो है पब्लिसर्सहरूले आउनुपर्छ भनेर। अन्त मैले चाहिँ एउटा अर्कै बहाना देखाएर चाहिँ म जाँदिनँ, मेरो यस्तो काम परिहाल्यो भनेर। त्यो होइन, आई मिन कुनै पनि किताब निस्किँदाखेरि देयर इज अलवेज, एन्ड दिस इज अ फर्स्ट बुक, सो एउटा के हुन्छ भने डर क्या, I mean how will people take it, because it's in print, it is not like a digital thing.
Yes,
a digital thing that today I print, today I put up something, a post, and then I just remove it. No,
Right,
it can't
right,
be,
right.
it can't be like that, it's there. So these apprehensions were there, and as you said that this book when it first came out and this last 1 year viewpoint, few places, yes, there were a few comments, but then overall this book has been received well. I mean, people did not think, or whatever said and done, whichever side of the coin you are, but then एउटा कुरा चाहिँ एक्सेप्ट भयो कि यो चाहिँ थियो, यस्तो भएको थियो र एउटा डकुमेन्ट पनि भयो क्या फर पोस्टेरिटी। द्याट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट, किनभने हाम्रो नानीहरूले, हाम्रो नेक्स्ट जेनेरेसन या हाम्रो 10 जेनेरेसन पछाडि यो किताब, यो कथाले केही गर्छ भनेर होइन, तर भयो, that is more important, and to document that in a fictional format, so that was all about it. But then yes, except for 1 or 2 comments from duas, I did get कि हामीलाई छोड्नु भयो त किताबमा भनेर।
सो वाइ किन चाहिँ तपाईले डुअर्सको जुन पर्सपेक्टिभ चाहिँ हाल्नु भएन?
So for that I remember one of the topics उठेको थियो, one of the when I was moving around दार्जिलिङ कालिम्पोङ हिल्स त्यति बेला बुक प्रमोसनको लागि छोडेको होइन यो, किनभने मेरो कथासँग कहीँ न कहीँ त्यो जेल भएको थिएन। तर खालि एउटा जग्गा चाहिँ मेन्सन चाहिँ छ अफ कोर्स कि this guy who, one of the protagonists, had come from Duas to study in Darjeeling, and he gets into the trap and gets killed in the process. So त्यो चाहिँ छ, एउटा मेन्सन चाहिँ छ। So but it's not over yet. Who knows, there will be a second Gorkhaland Dairies story.
All right. तपाईलाई यो सोध्न म चाहन्छु कि यो जुन आइडिया थियो है, जस्तै अब तपाईले जुन पिक 1986 मा जब गोर्खाल्यान्ड मुभमेन्ट सुरु भयो है देखि लिएर 2017 सम्म है, इभन लाइक राइट फ्रम सुभाष घिसिङ टु बिमल गुरुङ, you have like chronicled it like I mean so beautifully in the fictional format,
without mentioning their names,
and while reading we could make it out like which personality you are in fact indicating or talking about. That was the the best essence of your writing. So tell us, like, how did this idea germinated?
Well, You remember in 2017 there were a lot of rallies that were going on.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
you'd seen that and you
yes,
had
yes,
covered that.
yes.
त्यति बेला I happened to meet a lot of youngsters and asked them about, you know, 86 मा यस्तो भएको थियो, and there were people talking, but they hardly knew anything about it.
Yes.
होइन 2000 I mean, you know, 17 मा आएर, and it's hardly 30 years, people have forgotten their history. And more than 30-35 books have been written on Gorkhaland, be it on paper or seminar paper, or you know, thesis has been done, books are निक्लेको छ non fiction, तर fiction मा अहिले पनि just scratches मात्र आइराखेको थियो. So I thought that let's educate our youngsters. I mean, at least keep it like, you know, people will read a story, may not read a academic paper,
Right,
but
right.
कथा त पढ्छ नि मान्छेले. So यो कथालाई नै chronicle गरेर र how to dovetail that into a story, a readable format, an interesting format. I mean, that's what people were telling me, that you have put in a lot of facts, but together with the facts, we could understand it's a fiction, but there are a lot of facts included in it. So,
Right.
so that was the high point. You know.
सो लिङ्ग्विस्टिकली हेऱ्यो भने पनि अहिलेसम्म गोर्खाल्यान्ड एजुटेसन मुभमेन्टको बारेमा जति पनि किताबहरू प्रकाशनमा आयो बेसिकली नेपालीमा छ, विच मिन्स लाइक इट इज नाउ लाइक यु नो लिमिटेड टु अ सर्टन पपुलेसन अ डायस्पोरा, राइट? नेपाली रिडिङ. तर विथ दिस यु हेभ ओपन द पेन्डोरा बक्स, नाउ दिस कुड बी रिच्ड लाइक यु नो एनिवेयर इन द वर्ल्ड, होइन? मतलब वाट डु यु थिङ्क अबाउट दिस? लाइक यु नो I think linguistically pani you have kept this on mind deliberately.
Yes. So if you write a story, write it in English
Yeah.
for a bigger majority of people who stay outside our community. अर्को कुरा चाहिँ पहिलाको किताबहरू सबै नेपालीमा आएको थियो. Of course, before this Englishमा translate भयो Song of the Soil, you know, but that's a translation from and it's really doing well, and I'm so happy that, you know, people are reading about it and they want to know about it, know about this. So after this, there were about 6 books which came out in this last 1 year. 3 more books are lined up. I know for sure because I know the people who are doing it. So at least 9 books are there after this book. So that itself has not Pandora box, I should say, but people are now daring to write the stories. सबभन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट चाहिँ पर्सपेक्टिभ होइन, सबभन्दा इम्पोर्टेन्ट चाहिँ स्टोरी निस्किनुपर्छ, बी इट इन फिक्सनल फर्मेट, बिट्विन नन फिक्सन फर्मेट. You can't keep anything inside closed doors. केही छ भने लेखौँ न, let's debate it out, let's form an opinion. But then
whether you agree or disagree,
that's immaterial. That's
Yes.
immaterial. लेख्नु चाहिँ पर्छ, आफ्नो स्टोरी, आफ्नो भ्यू पोइन्ट लेख्यो भने त अर्काले बुझ्छ. नभए यो भित्रै you know, it will continuously eat you up.
yes. So let me read one of the like you know paragraphs है रोशनी राईले लेख्नु भएको थियो, and she read your book रहेछ हैन. अन्त she writes है like it is a real diary of Gorkhaland. The story is fiction, but still I felt like I know each and every character in this story. I could relate to each and every major incident described in the book. The narration is so beautiful. Without the mention of the name, I could recognize the political leaders about whom the author is describing because it's a part of my life. So a common person, a common man reads this, I mean, like, you know, book and like, you know, can relate so like involved bhayera ni. So do you think Gorkhaland Dairies has been able to hit the right chord amongst the readers?
Probably yes. I think probably better books will come out. I want some more. I just
No, you are being modest.
No, it's not modest. See, basically के हुन्छ भने नि कुनै पनि किताब लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा कुरा चाहिँ हामीले के पनि बुझ्नुपर्छ भने, and I took this, I mean, this was this constant thing that was behind my back, is that what is that I'm going to serve? Am I serving the story or am I serving the mudda? You know, and my subconscious tells me both. You have to write the mudda as a part of your story. So then what happens is the common man or the common person. Remember, see, एउटा कुरा चाहिँ मैले हरेक इन्टरभ्यूमा पनि भनेको छु, and even in this one कि imagine that time 84, 85, 86, 87, height of everything, the Ulfa movement, the Khalistan movements come back again.
Yes.
But सबले सम्झ्यो कि गोर्खाल्यान्ड आन्दोलन इज अ सेपरेटिस्ट मुभमेन्ट, तर त्यो चाहिँ थिएन. This was a movement for making a state.
So you mean to say it was misunderstood?
It was misunderstood by the entire population because whenever we meet people in Delhi and Bombay, क्या Gorkhaland यार तुमको और एक देश चाहिए? It's not a देश people are asking, you know. So you have to understand that there is a sentiment which is there among the people, and that has to be articulated, and that is all I did. It's not to like where people say के हासिल गर्नु, यसमा केही हासिल गर्नु छैन, मलाई क्रनिकल मात्रै गर्नु छ. I mean, you are a Sikkim Chronicle, you are chronicling times, but you are doing it in the non-fiction format. Whatever is happening, you're chronicling. I did it in a fiction format and put a nice story with emotions and sentiments and with tears and laughters and joys and song. It's just that. It's what the hill is all about.
So you have like I mean written the essence of like the movement so beautifully है. अनि यसमा तपाईले अब I don't know, that's my interpretation and my how like and what was the role of the Bengal government during that movement भयो हैन. अनि सेन्टरको कस्तो point of view थियो, पर्सपेक्टिभ थियो, अनि लोकल हिल लिडर्सहरुको रोल र उहाँहरुको मतलब पर्सपेक्टिभ के थियो यो पनि तपाईले मजले अब विदाउट नेमिङ तपाईले. सो आफ्टर रिलिजिङ अफ दिस बुक, were you like contacted by any political leaders of Darjeeling Hills?
No,
expressing
but I did happen to meet many of them, and of course.
So what reaction के थियो त्यसमा चाहिँ?
And they were happy. They were saying thank you very much.
So did they agree with the idea of what you have written about the agitation?
I remember Dr. Arka Bahadur was in one of the program and he said that I totally agree. There's nothing wrong with it. So what is past is past. You can't change the future. Yeah. What can be done is what they think or what. So एउटा कुरा चाहिँ आयो कि हैन गल्ती चाहिँ केही लेखेको छैन. So it's a story in the end. So I also get a sneak gully wherever this कथा त हो. अब कतिवटा जग्गाहरू साह्रै एप्रोप्रिएट पार्नको लागि अलिकति चेन्ज गरिदिएको छु, अलिकति स्याटरडेलाई मन्डे, मन्डेलाई सन्डे पारिदिएको छु, एन्ड द्याट वाज डन इन्टेन्सनली. अर सर्ट फर्म्सहरू अलिकति चेन्ज गरिदिएको छु. त्यो कारण थियो. आई मिन द्याट्स द निड अफ द आवर, अदरवाइज वाइ फिक्सनलाइज इट हैन.
So your two protagonists are Vijay and Rajan, right? So what do you think? अहिले पनि Darjeeling Hills मा Vijay and Rajan छ with the same emotion, or the emotion has been faded for Gorkhaland? What do you say?
No, not yet. So you can understand that. I mean, next year 2024, you see the clarion call, you'll understand. so this our people have different viewpoints, but when you sit over a kitchen fire with food in one unknown basti of the hills, some chai bagan or some forest fringe village, where out of this social media, you just talk to them. And then that's where you get that मुद्दा छोडेको छैन एउटा कमन म्यान.
अर्को इस्यु चाहिँ मलाई बुकमा त मन परेको के भन्दाखेरि हाउ ब्युटिफुली यु हेभ एड्रेस द प्लाइट अफ द टी वर्कर्स, प्लान्टेसन वर्कर्स, हाउ इकोनोमिकली दे वर बिङ लाइक आई मिन डिप्राइभ्ड अफ लाइक सो मेनी थिङ्स. I mean, tell us about this. I mean, like it so relates.
Yeah, because see, I have been very closely, and it does not come. See, Gorkhaland Dairies is all those things that number, 92 rupees or 139 rupees or whatever. It does not come over a day. You have to keep reading of the region, entire region itself, continuous. And it's not like, I remember someone asking me, "Tapile, kati din ma lekhnu?" I said I wrote it in 40 days. This book is.
You wrote this book just in 40 days.
40 days, yeah.
Okay.
And that time it was 97,000, so we cut it short to around 74,000. 20,000 removed. त्यसमा पनि कथा थियो तर कुनै दिन अर्को पनि निस्किन्छ होला. तर this is the stories, the reading that you do over the years, and it's not only about Darjeeling or Kalimpong, even Sikkim included, or Bengal included, or India included. How the geopolitics changed and how common man was made to work for someone else's morning tea. So these are plight. But again, there is another fact that if that person does not drink your morning tea, you're not going to get paid. So where is the balance? So these are all issues that constantly keep on. You see it on a day-to-day basis. It's not that I'm in Munnar or I'm in California having a cup of tea and not knowing about this area or just whatever comes out in news and all that. It's not that. It's this common plight that you've been traveling so much. You'll see, all these stories are not new. You'll find it in every village. You'll find a Rajan and Vijay in every village.
So I read this beautiful piece written by Vivek Chettri about your Gorkhaland Dairies, but he has given this angle of Bob Dylan.
Oh
Tell
yeah.
us, tell us, is that the love for him?
No, no, because all the chapters are named after Bob Dylan
Yeah.
in this book.
Yes, yes,
In this
yes,
book,
yes, yes.
So basically, and when I was writing this book in 2018, somehow my hard disk was, my CDs were going bad, and I'm listening to Bob Dylan from time immemorial. So के भयो भने त्यति बेला म सिडीहरुको चाहिँ नि त्यो कन्भर्ट गरेर के गरेर त्यसलाई सेभ गरेर हाउ टु अब त्यसलाई सेभ त गर्नु पर्यो नि गर्दाखेरि कतिवटा एल्बमको नाम लेख्दाखेरि ठिक ठिक मिल्यो क्या एन्ड देन आई वेन्ट ब्याक टु अल द 34 एल्बम्स अफ बब डिलन एन्ड दे फाउन्ड दैट अरे दिस मैचेस इन दिस and then found the whole thing. It was like, again a divine intervention, if I can say so.
Exactly, exactly.
So everything matched, and that is why all the chapters are named after Bob Dylan albums.
डाक्टर सत्यदीप अब तपाईँको हामीले अब जस्तै अब पोइन्ट अफ भ्यू भनौँ तपाईँको ओपिनियन त हामीले अब सोसियल मिडियामा हेरि नै बस्छौँ यु आर वान ओपिनियटेड पर्सन वाइ वी वान्ट मोर बिकज वी फिल लाइक यु हेभ ओपिनियन तपाईँ ओपिनियनेटेड हुनुहुन्छ एन्ड यु हेभ ओपिनियन अन एभ्री इस्युज राइट सो हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यहाँदेखि तपाईँ हामीले पढ्थ्यौँ पहिलादेखि है तर वेन यु डिसाइडेड टु कम अप विथ द बुक है फुल फ्लेजेड एज एन अथर यु चोज दिस सब्जेक्ट विच परह्याप्स मेबी क्वाइट कन्ट्रोभर्सियल अनि अर्को बुक अहिले तपाईँले पब्लिस गर्नु भएको छ विच इनफ्याक्ट आई वोन्ट से कन्ट्रोभर्सियल बट they also lies the opinion. I mean, like, right? Everyone may not agree with what you have written. So was that deliberate ki whenever you thought of writing, you would choose like, these topics, the history of both, like,
No, the second book, Sikkim from Autocracy to Have Democracy.
Yes.
First of all, let us understand that I have been reading Sikkim history from, I don't know when. I mean, for the last 20 years, I've been reading books, papers, whatever comes out on Sikkim, articles. केही पनि निस्क्यो भने, and I think, if I will not say, I mean, I will not claim, but perhaps I have the biggest library of Sikkim books in my shelf. आफ्नै collection. Be it photocopy, be it whatever, journals, सबै छ मेरोमा. Newspaper cuttings देखि लिएर everything is there. Okay? So I've been reading and trying to demystify many things which have been written. But I was still feeling that what is the missing link भनेर नि के कथा चाहिँ लेखिएको छैन अहिले पनि. So that is what the book says behind, that from different perspectives बाट कथा आयो तर common man को perspective बाट अहिले आएको छैन. And this book actually happened because one of the protagonists, Mr. Khatiwara, who narrated this story, my work was to interview him and to verify and re-verify and find out evidences. Whether if you're saying something, does it have an evidence? And that is where a lot of time went to research. So if this 100%, if he has said 100 words, number of words that you'll see will be only 30. Because if there is no evidence, then it does not stand. At least I will not put my money into it. So it is just that कि अब जे हुने थियो त भइ त हाल्यो तर यसमा चाहिँ अब थुप्रै कोच मान्छेले पायो पनि हरायो पनि दुईटै छ हैन. So that is what it has been put. So it मेरो पर्सपेक्टिभ छैन यसमा जे भयो त्यति बेला. There is one book, very interesting book, Gyalo Thondup and Thurston लेखेको The Noodle Maker of Kalimpong.
Okay.
And Gyalo Thondup was His Holiness को भाइ. Okay. उहाँ पनि यस्तै भएको छ कि उहाँले नरेट गर्नु भएको छ एन्ड थर्स्टनले चाहिँ लेखेको. So this is exactly modeled around that book which was published I think 2016 हरूतिर होला 15-16 मा. So that's that Noodle Maker of Kalimpong को जस्तो छ त्यस्तै पाराले यसको प्रेजेन्टेसन गरेको छ एक्सेप्ट यसमा अब फोटोहरु पनि अलिकति आएको.
सो बेसिकली यो कुरो जहिले पनि उठ्ने गर्छ कि सिक्किमको इतिहास जब पनि लेख्यो इदर गभर्नमेन्ट अफ इन्डियाको पोइन्ट अफ भ्यूबाट लेख्यो हैन रको पोइन्टबाट लेख्यो इदर किनभने चाहिँ छोगेल यता प्यालेसको पोइन्ट अफ भ्यूबाट भनौँ न हैन लेख्यो है तर दिस इज फर द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट हिस्ट्री अ कमन म्यानको पर्सपेक्टिभबाट हाउ डु यु थिंक लाइक दिस वुड गिभ एन इम्पेटस स्पेशली फर द posterity to understand. Do you think like about the duita picture aayanta taking the history of Sikkim, right? So how would it help, like especially for the people who are keen on knowing?
See, this is कमन म्यानको पर्सपेक्टिभबाट चाहिँ अफकोर्स हो, तर हेर्नुहोस् अब यो 1-2 वर्षमा या 3-4 वर्षमा थुप्रै किताबहरू पनि आएको छ। 2टा किताब मिसिङ भएको छ बिचमा, मान्छेले साह्रै बेसी कुरा गर्दैन। एउटा बीएस दासको द सिक्किम सागाको साह्रै बेसी कुरा गर्दैन। अर्को पिआर रावको एउटा किताब छ, यो 1987 89 90 को बेलामा उहाँको पिएचडी थिसिस हो त्यो छ। अनि अहिले भर्खरै पनि भेरी ब्युटिफुल बुक अब ह्यान्डटफको किताब राम्रो छ होइन। अनि अर्को आयो बन्डाला किङडम, भर्खर अब एलेक्स मेकी त हिज अ अथोरिटी अन टिबेटन हिस्ट्री होइन युके को। सो आउँदैछ, थुप्रै पर्सपेक्टिभ्सहरू आउँदैछ जुन चाहिँ मिसिङ भएको छ। अब इफ आई हेभ टु राइट सेम थिङ वाट अदर्स हेभ रिटन, I would not choose to write
because it would not make any sense.
No, it doesn't make. I mean, for me as a writer also, it will not give me interest. Why should I copy
repetition?
त्यहाँबाट कपी त्यहाँबाट पेस्ट गरेर त्यसमा केही नयाँ छैन। त यो जब आयो त्यति बेला I found it very interesting. So I said, let's write it because again, as I said, it's for posterity. And यो किताबमा चाहिँ फेरि almost 35 पेज छ appendix मात्रै। So 300 page को किताबमा 35 page appendix बनेको त अब major portion. So whatever has been written in the book, all evidences are there, and quotations from say assembly debates, यही सिक्किम assembly मा भएको या उता parliament मा भएको या different issues माथि जति बेला कुराहरू आयो या कुनै लेटर लेखिएको थियो या ज्ञानी जैल सिंहको लेटर आयो या यहाँनिर हाम्रो छोगेल महाराजले कुनै डकुमेन्ट साइन गर्नुभएको, त्योहरू सबै आएको छ नयाँ। एउटा सिक्रेट डकुमेन्ट भन्ने यत्रो वर्ष निक्लेको थिएन। थ्याङ्कफुली हाम्रो प्यालेस वाज भेरी नाइस एन्ड ब्रिटिस काउन्सिल वाज भेरी नाइस टु मेक इट अनलाइन। सो जब मेरो काम थिएन ड्युरिङ, तपाईँहरू काम गरिरहनु भएको थियो, हामी
कोभिडको टाइममा
घरभित्र थिएँ होइन, एन्ड होल डे आई युज्ड टु रिड, so it gave me a fresh perspective. I went back to few books again to re-verify, confirm, ke ho yo. So many things came out, and then I started questioning because maybe Mr. Khatiwara has 500 different stories, but I wanted to put in those stories which was not matching or which had to be explained. So त्यो कुराहरु छ. So it's a very interesting book. I mean, I'm just a chronicler. म त हैन.
So म तपाईलाई जानकारी गराउन चाहन्छु कि we tried to grab the book but it is out of stock.
No, it's come back. It's
so basically मेरो एकजना साथीले यो जुन बुक पढ्दैछ, so I was just doing some research and talking with a person who was reading this book. उहाँले एउटा इम्पोर्टेन्ट कुरा, इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कुरा के भन्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई लागेको कुरा चाहिँ के रहेछ भन्दा चाहिँ काजी एन्ड काजिनीज आर इम्पोर्टेन्ट पार्ट अफ आवर हिस्ट्री, but people don't know much about them through especially Kazini, right? But this book, we see them in a different, personality and in different aspect, because N.B. Khatiwara, in fact, was also adopted son. So adopted son ko point of view बाट चाहिँ अब, so I mean मलाई काहीँ न काहीँ उहाँले भन्नुभयो कि do you think history has I mean judged them unfairly?
Well, that depends upon perspective. See, history itself is biased, and let us not say that history cannot be. It cannot be unbiased. It depends upon who's writing it and from and who's reading it. एउटै चीज अब तपाईलाई तातो चिया मन पर्छ भने कोहीको अब जिब्रो पिल्जेको छ भने उसलाई तातो मन पर्दैन नि त. So it's all about perspectives of in which state you are today. Suppose you like an ice cream, but you are having a tooth problem, a sensitive tooth problem. Will you like an ice cream during that time? You won't.
Yes.
Right. So perspective changes, time changes, and it's very true that Kazi ko barema uhaharko biha kasari bhayo. Nobody knows. Who is she? Every person will say, oh, Sikkim was this whatever geopolitical region where 3 ladies like Kazini and Gyalmo and हाम्रो Gyalmo Hopkok and Indira Gandhi को कथा थुप्रै लेखिन्छ, तर यहाँबाट आउनु पर्यो नि त कथा. Why should it always be someone from Calcutta, someone from Delhi or someone from UK writing it? Why are our own? So I'm very thankful to Mr. Jigmen Kazi that he wrote Sons of Sikkim. I'm so happy to read that book. Very well chronicled. Very nice book. मजा आयो त्यो किताब पनि पढ्नु. थुप्रै कुरो जग्गा जग्गाबाट जानिएको थियो, तर उहाँले एउटा किताबमा समेटेर ल्याउनु भयो. भेरी नाइस. द्याट्स वान पर्सपेक्टिभ. तर यसमा मेरो पर्सपेक्टिभ चाहिँ छैन. आई मिन
So this is entirely the perspective of Mr. Khatiwara.
बट एभिडेन्स बेस्ड.
Evidence based.
एभिडेन्स.
So तपाईँको मैले फेसबुक फिडमा हेर्दै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई वुड से अ ट्रेलर बिफोर लन्चिङ द बुक यु हेड गिभन
We are made to
मेनी
do that.
एनेक्डोट्स राइट.
Yeah.
फर इक्जाम्पल तपाईँले भन्नुभएको रहेछ कि आइएलपी वाज नट फर द फर्स्ट टाइम डिस्कस्ड इन द स्टेट अफ सिक्किम इभन लाइक त्यो
1980
टाइममा
मा,
हजुर
1980
आइएलपी इन द
भएको,
लाइन पर्मिट कुरा भएको रहेछ. सिक्किमिज नेपाली सिटको के भन्छ जुन अबोलिसमेन्ट छ यो ड्यु टु सेन्ट्रल गभर्मेन्टको होइन यो पनि भएको रहेछ. सो डु यु थिङ्क लाइक यु नो द्याट democracy in Sikkim is half because people have not received the equal rights even after joining the mainstream India.
Well, see, as I said, it's very young democracy. 50% पुगेको छैन हैन डेमोक्रेसी आएको. यही वर्ष हो 50 वर्ष 74 मा गएर इलेक्सन भयो. So as I said, I am a chronicler. त्यो कितेलामा के भयो, कुन न्युजपेपर कटिङबाट कसले के खबर पायो, कसले के खबर ल्यायो, त्यहाँदेखि के कुरा भयो त्योहरू छ. आइएलपी को म त डल्लै एसेम्ब्लीको जुन चाहिँ प्रोसिडिङ्स त्योहरू सबै छ. It's part of the book.
Okay.
So you'll say, you can see who said what and why it was and कति भोटले जित्यो, किन कति भोटले हार्यो, त्योहरू सबै छ. So you know, I almost see now sitting here at the 2023, I see the whole thing repeating. You know, the whole circle is coming through. But it's interesting.
So tell me one thing. अर्को कुरो चाहिँ तपाईँलाई म के सोध्न आँटेको छु भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ तपाईँको पर्सनल पोइन्ट अफ भ्यूमा चाहिँ तपाईँलाई मन परेको बेस्ट च्याप्टर अथवा यु नो द बेस्ट च्याप्टर अफ सिक्किम्स हिस्ट्री वाइल यु वर राइटिङ लाइक तपाईँलाई चाहिँ कुन चाहिँ हो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ लागेको चाहिँ?
I mean, this is like asking तपाईँको 10 जना नानी छ कुन नानी तपाईँलाई मन पर्छ भने जस्तो भएन नि.
But still हुन्छ.
It's very interesting. So मलाई चाहिँ साँच्चै नै अब मनभित्रबाट दुईटा च्याप्टर छ.
ओके.
एउटामा चाहिँ मेरो आफ्नो भ्यू पोइन्ट छ, त्यो लास्टमा छ, पार्टिङ सर्टमा छ, त्यसले चाहिँ डल्लै किताबलाई समेटेको छ. त्यो भ्यू पोइन्ट भन्नु भएन, समरी जस्तो भन्नु पर्यो हैन, त्यो छ. अनि अर्को एउटा भेरी इन्ट्रेस्टिङ च्याप्टर चाहिँ यो जुन चाहिँ 75 मा जुन चाहिँ 74 देखि 75 जुन चाहिँ मर्जर टाइम है नि, एसोसिएट स्टेट भयो कुनै के भयो अरे, मान्छे कन्फ्युज थियो
आफ्टर ट्राइपार्टाइट एग्रीमेन्ट 73 मा ट्राइपार्टाइट एग्रीमेन्ट भयो त्यहाँदेखि सुरु. हजुर
त्यो जग्गा चाहिँ मलाई एकदमै मन परेको थियो किनभने यु नो you could feel the confusion that people were going through, the common masses were going through.
So what was the confusion actually?
I mean, see, people, I mean, I will not divulge everything. I want people to read it.
Okay.
सबै भन्दिनँ किनभने अब बहुत मुस्किलले लेखिएको, and I had to be very true because one thing you can't do is you can't deceive the Sikkimese masses. एउटा कुरा चाहिँ हो, important thing is लेख्नुहोस्, ट्रुथ लेख्नुहोस्, सही लेख्नुहोस्, पर्सपेक्टिभ गलत छ यो त्यो ओपिनियन त अर्कै कुरा हो, तर हो कि होइन द्याट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट. त्यस्तो भएको थियो कि थिएन त्यो चिज चाहिँ. एन्ड अगेन एज आई सेड, आई प्रमिस यु, आई मिन इफ यु नट रेड द बुक, आई प्रमिस यु द्याट इट विल बी लाइक गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरीज. इट विल लुक एज इफ, I mean, Jyotimuki has also written that it's like traveling through those times.
Yes.
So that is. So के भएको थियो त्यति बेला, को भयो, के भयो, को आएर कसले के गफ गर्यो, त्यहाँ त्यो गफ गरेपछि कुन चाहिँ कागज आयो. You know, these are very intriguing and mysterious things that happened.
Yes.
And that is where I found it. I mean, that is what I like.
So एउटा क्रिटिकल क्वेसन तपाईँलाई सोध्ने है. यो किताब तपाईँले त्यो टाइममा चाहिँ रिलिज गर्नुभयो, लन्च गर्नुभयो जब सिक्किम वाज बोइलिङ, लाइक यु नो हामी सबैलाई थाहा भएको कुरो हो भर्खरै फेब्रुअरी महिनामा बिकज अफ द रिमार्क अफ द सुप्रिम कोर्ट अन सिक्किम इज नेप्लिज होइन, त्यो टाइममा पिक टाइममा तपाईँले लन्च गर्नुभयो. अनि गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरिज जब तपाईँले लन्च गर्नुभयो एकदम तामझामको साथ तपाईँले लन्च गर्नुभएको थियो यु नो. सो यसलाई चाहिँ सिक्रेटली तपाईँले गर्नुभयो. सो मतलब वाज द डेलिब्रेट द्याट यु वान्टेड टु हिट द आइरन व्हेन आइरन वाज हट भन्ने खालको हो पब्लिसिटी तपाईँ? सो इट्स क्वाइट क्रिटिकल.
It is like, I know that, but let me tell you, number one, writing a book is very difficult. And I finished this second book in 2021.
Okay.
We took about a year. I took almost 7 months just to properly edit it. And after that, I was looking out for publishers. Okay. But in between, what happened was Gorkhaland Dairies came out. And it did very well. So my publisher B finally told me, you know, and they said that, have you written anything? And I said, no, I have not written anything, you know. and I was editing, and there was one agent who got across to me, a very renowned literary agent, and I was just sending out some feelers once, and uh, two agents actually accepted it. एकजनाले गर्यो पनि त्यहाँदेखि बी बुक्स Isha is very dear, I mean, my publisher. He said, like, you're nothing doing, you have to give it to me. And, you know, this is like gratitude that when nobody was accepting Gorkhaland Dairies from 2018, it is B who, my B books who came up and said that we are accepting your book. So there was no choice but to give it to Isha. And, you know, publishing takes time. Again, they started cutting down whatever is required, putting it up, editing, re-editing, त्यो हुन्छ process. गर्दा गर्दै, and we were thinking of a launch somewhere in December.
Okay.
But somehow, you know, because of this US, UK, China embargo and all that, a lot of things were happening. And एक वर्षमा दुईटा किताब ननिकाल्ने पनि भयो किन त्यसको रन बुल रन भन्छ नि, बुल रन सकेकै थिएन, अझै चल्दैछ बुल रन हैन. त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ साह्रै भएर चाहिँ कलकत्ता बुक फेयरमा हामीले we launched. Now the problem was it was time for 2nd of February because Calcutta Book Fair starts from 31st.
Okay.
Every year, last week of 30th, 31st ma start hunyo January ma. अन्त त्यो त्यसमा गयो, त्यो गरेपछि चाहिँ अब यहाँ यस्तो हुने त कसलाई याद थियो. I do not control the Supreme Court. And 2nd of February ma so many things happened together, you know, and त्यति बेला पनि 73 मा ज्याक फर्म भएको थियो, यहाँ पनि ज्याक फर्म भएछ हो, many things happening. But no, it was nothing to do with that. It was 73 मा चाहिँ 2023 चाहिँ 50 years हो. So it is 50 years of the revolution. So that is how we had timed the book. It has nothing to do with what Supreme Court said and what people came on. It was timed for 50 years. So that was...
So it was unintentional.
No, it was not. Writing a book is not... I mean, you cannot say that, okay, something Supreme Court will come out, so I'll write a book and take it out at that time.
I understand that. So I'm more keen on knowing, because दुईटा धमाका त तपाईले दिइसक्नु भएको छ in the form of 2 books.
ए हैन, एउटा आन्सर गरेको छुइन.
हजुर.
त्यो फर्स्ट सेकेन्ड क्वेशन.
Yes.
सेकेन्ड क्वेशन चाहिँ किन सफ्ट लन्च भयो? सफ्ट लन्चको कारण के भयो भन्दाखेरि एउटा यहाँ कचरा चलिरहेको थियो and we found many of the issues similar.
Okay.
एउटा च्याप्टरै छ what is Sikkim's half democracy भन्ने नि. So we said that nothing doing, why बेकार अब no use creating controversy because this book is so sweetly written. It is nothing controversial in it. So we wanted to keep that sweetness on. Okay, that's one part. And the second portion was Gorkhaland Dairies was a fiction, and for non-fiction we will do a interactive session in about a month maybe. But many people who will gather there would have read the book by then. Gorkhaland Dairies चाहिँ पढेकै थिएन नि त मान्छेले, अन्त मेरो पट्टिबाट मात्रै गयो. So then interactive session मा चाहिँ what would happen is he will have to do, I mean Mr. Khatiwara will have to do a lot of answering. किन भन्नुभयो यस्तो भएको थियो र, and I'll have to help him out because you have to understand he is very old. I have a 56-hour recorded audio from him, but that 56 hours I had to sit 200 hours with him. Record गर्नुको लागि गरि के भन्नुहुन्छ गरि. So you have to understand all.
So when are you planning the sitting?
Let us see. I mean, let people, more people read it, you know.
So what next, Dr. Satyadeep Chettri? I'm keen to know on that.
One more book.
On?
Well, I'll not give you the. It will be on in this region, about this region only. But again, some story which has not been told in English. This I can promise.
Interesting.
There are so many stories. I mean, you know. But
so both the books are presently available in Amazon also.
Yes. So Amazon. So see, we have a policy. B Books also has a policy that we don't release Amazon and Flipkart. We give at least 1 month for our local,
people to read.
Independent booksellers like Rachna Books or Genco or Oxford or Epilogue. So all these bookstores are there who wait for books to do well, and so we give 1 month. One for this book we gave almost 1.5 months for the local independent bookstores to make their sale. And so from today is 20th, 21st. So I think 17th we went online. So from 17th onwards, it's available in Amazon and Flipkart.
Yes, thank you and all the best. Such a lovely conversation with you, Dr. Satyadeep Chettri. And let me tell you, Dr. Satyadeep Chettri is also the Associate Professor of Chemistry Department at Narbadu Bandari Degree College. Thank you so much. And finally, there are so many people who follows you, I mean, I've seen people adoring your writing. के भन्न चाहनुहुन्छ यो बुकलाई लिएर गोर्खाल्यान्ड डायरिज त मोरओभर सबले पढिसक्यो बट दिस न्यू बुक
एउटा कुरो चाहिँ हो हामी कतिवटा कुरा पनि आउटराइटली एक्सेप्ट गर्छु या लेख्छु कहिले ओपिनियनेड भन्छ कहिले पर्सपेक्टिभ भन्छ तर कुनै पनि किताब लेख्नुको लागि चाहिँ बहुत मेहनत गर्नुपर्छ एन्ड ब्याकग्राउन्ड रिसर्च इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट कुनै पनि चिज अब जस्तो द नेक्स्ट बुक द्याट आइम I started my background research last year, and I've still not been able to do so. I start writing somewhere only from July or August, provided I get that the mental block,
Mind space
पनि हुन्छ त्यो लेख्नु त लेख्छु बट ओभरअल मैले उ त बनाइसकेको छु एउटा फ्रेम त बट अझै पनि मेरो रिसर्च छ सो के हुन्छ भने चाहिँ राम्रो उसले राम्रो भन्यो भनेर आफूले पनि राम्रो नभन्नुहोस् पढ्नुहोस् आई मिन द मोर यु रिड एन्ड प्लिज बाई द बुक्स बिकज देयर आर सो मेनी अथर्स राइट नाउ यु नो किताब किनिदिनुहोस् पढिदिनुहोस् किन अन्त मात्रै यो रिजन अगाडि जान्छ र अर्को कुरा म के भन्न चाहन्छु भने हाम्रो कथा चाहिँ कोही पनि अब समवन फ्रम केरला or someone from Rajasthan or someone from Germany will not come and write our fictional stories.
We have to
maybe they write
story.
non-fiction. Non-fiction they will write, but fictional stories they will not write. And even if they write, they'll give only one, skewed perspective, which you may not like. So I request everyone to please read it. Beg, borrow, or steal. Read it, or if possible, please buy it. For heaven's sake.
Yes, of course, we'll buy the book. Thank you so much, Dr. Satyadeep Chettri. र तपाईहरुलाई अधिक केही जानकारी लिनु छ भने तपाईहरुले हामीलाई इमेल पनि गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ अनि तपाईहरुले अन्य न्यूजको लागि www.thesikimchronicle.com मा पनि तपाईले लगइन गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ अनि यो इन्टरभ्युको तपाईले वेबसाइट स्टोरी पनि यही वेबसाइटमा पढ्न सक्नुहुनेछ. Thank you so much for watching and congratulations once again. Thank you.
Get all the credible news on the go. Download the Sikkim Chronicle app.